Why does one ingredient clear blackheads while almost everything else fails? I'm talking about salicylic acid. Most skincare ingredients stay on the surface. Salicylic acid goes somewhere they can't. Let's understand the science behind it. Today's topic: the science behind salicylic acid and everything you need to know about it. First thing that you need to know is, what exactly is salicylic acid? So, salicylic acid is beta-hydroxyic acid. It is derived originally from willow bark, but nowadays, modern skincare uses synthetic salicylic acid. It is the most widely used OTC product for blackheads and whiteheads. It is an oil-soluble compound, unlike alpha-hydroxy acid, which is water-soluble. You might be thinking, if the oil solubility of salicylic acid really that important? Then yes, it is important, as the sebum that the skin produces is oil and the salicylic acid is oil-soluble too. It can travel into the sebum to the deep pores, which help with blackheads and whiteheads. The main question of the video: how does salicylic acid work for your blackheads, whiteheads, and acne? Let me explain you in a simple scientific way. When the sebaceous gland on your skin produces sebum, sometimes as the dead skin cells are shedding normally, but instead of shedding, they get stuck with sebum. As they stuck together, it leads to blocking of pores. As the pores gets blocked, they lead to formation of microcomedones, which later form into blackheads or whiteheads. How does salicylic acid helps in it? So salicylic acid is keratolytic in nature. You all must have heard about keratin for hair, but keratin is present in the skin too. This keratin protein in the skin held the dead cells together. Salicylic acid weakens or loosens the bond between these cells. Like, imagine dead skin is like bricks held together by glue, but that glue isn't keratin. Tiny protein connections called corneodesmums do that. Think of them as little bridges holding dead skin cells together. Salicylic acid doesn't destroy the bricks, it weakens the glue. So, instead of dead skin cells stuck inside the pores, they separate easily, and the pores have less chances of clogging. And as I said earlier, salicylic acid is oil-soluble cause of that it enters the oil-filled pores easily. It unclogs the pores from within instead of simply exfoliating from the surface like other skincare ingredients do. And if you think that's the only thing salicylic acid do, then you are wrong. It belongs to the salicylate family, so it's anti-inflammatory and chemical makeup. As these groups can reduce inflammatory signals, they make skin less and calmer less redness on skin and less swelling too. Fun fact: aspirin and salicylic acid belongs to the same salicylate group. But as salicylic acid, a weaker anti-inflammatory compound, it's not used in medicine like its derivative aspirin. Now that you know how salicylic acid works, what are benefits that you get from it? Firstly, and the most widely reason it is used: blackheads. As I said earlier, blackheads aren't just dirt trapped inside your pores. Blackheads are sebum plus dead skin stuck in the pore. When exposed to air, it oxides and turns black. Salicylic acid enters the deep oil-filled pores, weakens the bond between keratin and dead skin cells that leads to unclogging of pores and relieving of blackheads. Another one is whiteheads. Whiteheads are formed in the same way as blackheads, just the pore stays closed. As I explained in the blackheads point, salicylic acid works the same way with same mechanism. As you must have seen, salicylic acid used for acne: first, dead skin cells build up, oil becomes trapped. Bacteria begin multiplying inside the blocked pore. Eventually, the immune system reacts, creating redness and swelling. It's mostly cause it and clog the pores, which means less blockage and less chances of acne formation. It's more of a preventive than cure. Plus, of its weak anti-inflammatory properties, it helps in calming acne, less redness, and less swelling, reducing oiliness. And if you are accepting me to say that it does reduce oiliness, then I am sorry to say it's not true. It is a myth. I will cover this and other myths later in the video in myth section. As far you know that salicylic acid main action is to keep the pores open, the skin will produce oil as it was doing before. The same way, but just this time caused of salicylic acid, the pore stays unclogged so the oil gets the space to flow out naturally, rather than getting trapped building up in the skin. And that's why the skin looks less oily even when your skin is producing exact same amount of oil. Smoother skin, so when your dead skin cells is shedding itself normal every day, sometimes these cells doesn't shed completely or sheds unevenly.
Accumulate on the
As
surface.
It continues,
This creates a
accumulate on the
rough,
skin
jagged
surface,
texture,
making it
leaving
feel
your
rough.
skin dull and dry.
Salicylic acid
Specialized
weakens
junctions
the
called
keratin bonds of the
corneodesmosomes hold dead skin cells together.
making the
Salicylic
dead skin
acid is
cells
able to target and
separates
loosen these
easily,
bonds.
leading
The cells are
to
then able to
fresh,
separate and
smooth
float
skin.
away.
Reduce redness. Remember the fun fact I told earlier? Salicylic acid belongs to anti-inflammatory class of family salicylates. SO also possesses the property of reducing chemical inflammatory signals, along with exfoliating, leaving to calmer, less red skin. Side effects of salicylic acid. As every good side, have a bad side. Every good ingredient have both benefits and side effects. I will keep it short. Side effects of salicylic acid includes drying, peeling, irritation, burning, especially if you are using it too much, using it too often, combining with wrong ingredients, which in the later part of the video I will tell you with what you can combine salicylic acid and with what ingredients you can't. Now that you know how salicylic acid works and what benefits it provides, let me tell you what concentration you should use for your skin. The concentration you should stick with is 0.5 to 2% I. No, there are many higher concentration formulas, and you might be thinking that they will give you better results. Let me hold your hand while I tell you this, but that's not true. And using higher concentrations specifically from starting can irritate your skin. So listen to science and stick with 0.5 to 2%. The higher concentration is used for professional chemical peels, and you don't need it until you are doing it from a professional dermatologist or you want to irritate your skin. So listen to me, sweetheart, and stay away from it. Debunking myths related to salicylic acid. As popular as salicylic acid is for its benefits, there are many myths attached to it. As I explained one earlier in the benefits part, let me debunk some more myths for you. It's the second most important part of the video after how salicylic acid works, so pay attention. Myth 1. Salicylic acid removes dirt. This is probably one of the biggest misconceptions. I don't know why people believe it, like most of the blackheads are not caused by dirt. Washing your face doesn't remove them, because they're made mostly of oil and dead skin trapped inside the pore. Salicylic acid works by breaking apart this buildup deeply in oil-filled pores, not by scrubbing away the dirt. Myth 2. The stronger it stings, the better it's working. Most of the people think this if it's burning, it's working. But honey, let me tell you, it's not working. You're just burning your skin and irritating the precious skin barrier that literally protects your skin and keep it hydrated. So if it stings or burns, put that away for your own skin's sake, please. Healthy exfoliation shouldn't feel like your face is on fire. Myth 3. Higher percentage means better results. Nope, absolutely not. Imagine cleaning a window. Using enough cleaner removes the dirt. Not pouring the whole bottle onto the glass doesn't clean it faster. The same idea applies to salicylic acid. Increasing the concentration mainly increases the chance of irritation. Leave that higher concentration to the professionals' chemical peels that you don't need. Myth 4, and one of my fave myth, salicylic acid shrinks pores. I have said this before in my collagen and niacinamide video, and I will say it again, pore size are determined by genetics. When pores become filled with oil and dead skin, they stretch slightly and become more noticeable. When salicylic acid removes that blockage, the pore appears smaller. That doesn't mean the pore has become small. It's just a trick of your brain. Pore size stays the same. What you get is an illusion of pore size reduction. Myth 5, and the last myth for this video is, people with dry skin can never use salicylic acid. I am going to discuss later what skin type people can use salicylic acid and which can't, but a part in the myth is that salicylic acid is often recommended for oily skin, but that doesn't mean people with dry skin must avoid it completely. Just because they have dry skin doesn't mean they can't get clogged pores or acne. The difference is that they may need lower concentrations, less frequent use, and a really good moisturizer to reduce irritation. Now, one of the main questions, who can use salicylic acid? So people who can use salicylic acid are oily skin, acne-prone skin, whiteheads, blackheads. People with extremely dry skin and sensitive skin is not ideally to use salicylic acid. The important part, which other ingredients you can combine salicylic acid with? So you can combine salicylic acid with niacinamide. It is a great combination, especially for pores, barrier support, and reducing irritation. Next is retinoids. Now, you might be thinking that exfoliants shouldn't be used together, but it is possible to use salicylic acid and retinoids, but with gradual introduction and using them in altering way. And the most important one is a sunscreen. Why it's most important, you ask? Because it's an essential. See, after exfoliating your skin becomes vulnerable to the sunlight. To prevent irritation, using sunscreen is a must. There are other too, but it's always safe to first do a patch test on your back of hand or corner of your jaw before trying any. And I mean anything on your face. You never know what your skin might be sensitive to. How to use salicylic acid. If you're a beginner, don't start by using it every single day. Start with 2 to 3 times a week and see how your skin responds. If your skin tolerates it well, you can gradually increase the frequency. Always apply it to clean, dry skin. Follow with a moisturizer if needed, and don't forget sunscreen during the day. At night, use moisturizer and sleep well. Salicylic acid won't help with dark circles and sunscreen next day. Salicylic acid doesn't magically remove acne. It works because its chemistry allows it to enter oily pores, loosen dead skin cells, and reduce inflammation. Understanding that mechanism helps you know exactly what it can and can't do. I'll be breaking down more skincare ingredients like this, so stick around. Until next time, stay curious, stay beautiful, and stay scientific. Thanks for watching.